Sup, my name is Ryu for the Yugioh Welcome to Coffee Time, your Monday evening discussion video, released in the evening because that's when I have coffee. That's kind of why we call it Coffee Time. I know someone's going to say, I want tea time. I don't drink tea. Sorry. That's why it's called Coffee Time. It's my channel. Anyways, guys, today we're talking about Netdecking. Earlier today on Theoria, we talked about competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! So these kind of connect. They're like one side, they're the yin and the yang of each other. And that's why it was so perfect. I had to stop recording Coffee Time just to record Theoria because my ideas were going all over the place with it. It was great. Let's talk about Netdecking. We all have an opinion on it. Some of us just absolutely hate it, despise it, you're scum if you do it. We're going to talk about the reasons why people do it, why it shouldn't bother you no more, and how basically to just adapt to it. So, is it really such a negative thing to want to win? Is it such a negative thing to constantly want to prove out to be the best and have every option available to you? Netdecking is a shortcut. It is basically, I'm going to take this deck and then, if you choose to, fine-tune it from there for yourself, your personal preference. That's cool. Now, the one time I will say Netdecking does bother me nowadays is when I see it on YouTube. When someone takes like the same deck that, say, myself uploaded and basically re-uploads it and tries to talk about it, but they don't understand why I made those decisions. Or if I was to take someone's deck and I don't understand why they made those decisions, it would be kind of the same scenario where someone does it to you. It's a weird, awkward thing. If you know what you're talking about, then it's a much different thing. If you make some fine-tunes or some tech ideas, that's a much different deck because it changes the way the deck was looked at originally. Netdecking is not that concept of YouTube. It's that concept of taking it from regionals to locals to regionals to YCS and winning. You want all the tools available to you to actually win. You want to give yourself the greatest opportunity you can at the highest percentage rate to pull in a win. What is wrong with Netdecking? That has been a lot of people's just negative towards it. There's no creativity. You're not helping the game evolve. This morning, we talked about why competitive matters. It helps the game evolve. Even though, for the couple of formats before the ban list comes, I'm gonna go back to what I did this morning. If you take something like Overwatch, which is brand new in infancy and only a few months old, where do the changes from that come from? The PTR, the patch updates, everything like that, DLC that we get for free pretty much. So, what does Yu-Gi-Oh! Do to get that same effect? Is banless. We don't get every update that's going to constantly balance out a hero, and it's the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Except that, in this case, the hero is a deck. If I see someone playing Widowmaker a certain way, I'm going to want to play Widowmaker that way because it's better than what I'm playing. I adapt it to my personality, to my playstyle, to my, but Yu-Gi-Oh! And Overwatch are two different mediums because one's a trading card game. You get a lot more time to think about the strategy. It's more like a real-time strategy where you're thinking about your next move or your game of chess. I've often referenced it to that too. But unlike chess, it's not a fair game because not everyone's going into the same category of power levels and opportunities to kickstart. There's a lot of luck. There's a lot of drawing what you need. There's a lot of pre-planning. So a lot of that is not in those other games. I guess Overwatch is the one reference I go to because not only because I play it the most right now, but because it takes my mind off the stress of trying to come up with content for YouTube for this channel and allows me to focus my energy onto RyuAvalonGaming and just it allows me to spread my wings a lot more. And now I come back to here, I'm a lot more in the space of coffee time and furthering that discussion. It's always what I'm trying to do. So if you hear me say Overwatch a lot, don't take it the wrong way. It's a positive thing. It's the flow of nature. It needs to happen. But Netdecking, for some people, don't have that time like I do, or maybe you do, to have the creativity. Not everyone is given the gift of creativity with Yu-Gi-Oh! Not everyone is okay with testing things. They just want results because they're putting time, effort, and money into it, and they just want the quickest, easiest route with the most success. That's not a negative thing. That's an understanding that you can understand why that person does that. I don't have a problem when people net deck. I really don't. I used to, and when I was a few years ago younger than I am now, I would probably get pretty PO at people for net decking shit. Because it was just the same shit over and over again. And there are some times, I will admit, when I see ABC on Yugioh Pro, I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not feeling like playing meta. If I'm playing a meta deck or something that can keep up with it, then I'm okay with it. But anything else, I'm like, nope, no. That's just something that I think, you just understand the ceiling power your deck has, and you don't want to deal with something that's stronger. We'll probably talk about that on Coffee Time at some point. But net decking has always been around. I remember it in Magic the Gathering Pokemon trading card games. And it just, at first you would feel flattered that someone would want the same idea and the same thing you had. But then you get a taste of your own medicine, you're like, this isn't that much fun. So I think that's part of the reason people don't like net decking, because it's not just the lack of creativity, it's just the lack of, just, it makes discussions boring. Let's be honest. When I'm sitting here trying to talk about ABC, it's just boring. That's why last week it was a boring and dull discussion, because that's just how it is. You get the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's like having eggs every morning and nothing but that with a protein shake. That's going to drive you nuts. At some point, you just have to tell yourself, it's just energy. But with Yu-Gi-Oh, there's no furthering. Unless you look at competitive, then that's totally different. And that's why it's so important to keep that energy going. But you come back to net decking, you're like, oh, fuck net decking, because there's no creativity. There's not a lot of creativity in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's why you see a lot of people come to YouTube to do creativity, to share creativity, to do something new. But here's a fun fact. Everything that you could think of, there's probably someone out there who has already done it. What's wrong with doing it again? What's wrong with trying it in your way, your own voice? If someone was to make the same video idea that I'm making here, they could probably speak better than I can at it, because they may not have the TBI, which is traumatic brain injury from a few months ago. They may not have the same ideas that I have when it comes to this topic. They may have a different way of approaching it. They may not say sup. There's little subtle changes there. And net decking shouldn't be shunned on. We should be okay with it, in all honesty, because it doesn't affect us. Yes, you have to play against the same thing you already played again before, but you understand that it's the same 40 cards, which gives you an advantage. That person who's, net decking it, he's not going to understand that. Not going to have that experience, or she's not going to understand that or have that experience unless they played it enough. It's kind of like, I guess the way to describe it is, when we get to those like new controllers or new, gadgets we usually get, microphones, whatever, it takes a little while to get in that comfort zone where you're perfect at it. You don't just pick up a guitar or an instrument and be perfect at it. Net decking isn't an absolute instant win because some guy at YCS topped it. This is where I'm going to switch gears here. You can't just take something that someone else created and think you're going to get the same effect. There's a reaction for every action. And it's the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not, but there is a whole other thing there that just goes, you're not working on this the same way the other person did. The same two moves may differ with end results because you may not be going the same route. Unless that deck is 110% autopilot and just basically hands you card after card and leads you down one road and no other road, then it's going to become incredibly easy. That is where net decking becomes easy. But if it's not that case, if it's not that scenario, if it's not that easy, something like Infernoids, it's going to be a lot harder. And God, I fucking know, even if I say we should just all be okay with net decking, there's going to be some rage comments. There's going to be people just telling me I am absolute wrong. It is my opinion, just like you have yours. As long as we say respectful, we should all be cool with each other. It's just how it is. We don't need to be toxic with each other. When I started this channel, I wanted to do something completely different. I wanted to have a channel where people could just discuss Yu-Gi-Oh! And not be toxic about it. not be like just shunned down and feel like they're going to be hated on or their words twisted. We don't need to be that way. It's kind of pointless. It doesn't get us anywhere. We don't have ultimate control over it. But again, I'm kind of getting sidetracked there. Netdecking is what it is. At the end of the day, it's not going away. It's going to continue because it proves the same results it always has. It's kind of like a mathematical, equation. 2 plus 2 always equals 4. There's no way that formula changes when you have the same product of 2 and a plus. You're going to get the same result at the very end of the day. And it's the same thing with netdecking. If it works, it's going to continue. If it doesn't work for that person, most likely they'll just probably go to their friend and see what works for their friend, and then probably grow into a much better Yu-Gi-Oh player from there. Playtesting is something that's very crucial and can affect netdecking very much. The same experience that you and I may have from testing ABC for 16 hours may differ from the person who netdecks it for 6 minutes. There is a much different skill gap. If someone is handed the same, let's say, samurai sword as the other person, the person who has the experience with it, who has trained for 6 years, who do you think's going to win that fight? It's the same thing with two people who have the same deck. A netdecker and the person who put it together on their own time, they're going to know from experience how to counteract that. And if you take that knowledge of knowing how to counteract something, then it becomes 10 times easier for you, and the game becomes more enjoyable because you're not stressing out about some dude who freaking netdecked a deck online. I know how stressful this game can be. Everything in life can be stressful to the point that you just want to take your cards and kick them out the window. I've seen it. I have friends who still get to that point. And I try to spread the message that is both positive, and sometimes it comes off a little negative because my little bit of an ego and my little bit of way of phrasing things, I am terrible, sorry, TBI, traumatic brain injury, it has that effect on people. And it takes time to fully recover. Little by little. Same thing with netdecking. Take it in doses. If the game gets too frustrating, take a step back. Don't have a brain aneurysm or a heart attack over stress of some dude netdecking. It's a waste of time, trust me. There are pros and cons in netdecking. The cons are that you're getting the same product that you did before, but from someone who may not understand the deck. May not understand the deck. As the same person who put the deck together, the pros are simple. If that person understands how to win with that deck, they're going to constantly win. It allows that deck to constantly stay strong. It allows that deck to stay on top. Popularity also pretty much plays a really important role. Like ABC right now, you're seeing 2 versions, the rank 4, and of course the Galaxy Soldier version. No, I do not take credit for that Galaxy Soldier version, because I know someone's probably going to think I will. I'm just trying to make it very clear I don't. That's Japan. The rank 4 version, also Japan. I take credit for none. I just bring more eyeballs to it. That's just how it is. Again, not trying to say I'm taking credit for anything outside of this discussion video that I put together and spent about 10 hours on. Yeah, about 10 hours on. But more importantly, if netdecking does not affect you, you should not allow it to affect you. That negative energy is something that you don't need in your life. And if netdecking bothers you so much, maybe you really do need to take time off of Yu-Gi-Oh! And just take a step back from it. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Taking a break from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not going to be the end of the world. And I know it's hard to sometimes play catch-up on it. And I know sometimes you guys are just going to get mad at me for whatever I say. I respect it. That's your decision. But I know the majority of you will always pretty much understand where I'm coming from, even with my my Ryu-ness, as Rom Kim likes to put it over Skype. That dude is awesome. Anyways, guys, I'm going to end off this video finally here with a channel update. So, things have been pretty damn good, to say the least, outside of dragging my foot around, because I still have the 3 fractures, of course. That's going to be a few more weeks. But I just want to say, rest assured, Invasion Vengeance, we're going to be opening a box, and as much time and effort as I put into the other channels, do not fret. This channel comes first before anything. If I do take a break on the other channels, that is to further the content, just to give myself some fresh air to really overhaul everything. The flu is coming out of me. I'm feeling better. I'm hearing myself normally again, and I don't sound so nasally, and everything is just going solid. And I have you guys to thank for that. I really do. Because you guys just like power through. You're like, just do it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about this video being late or some shit, you know? Just take your time with it. And I love you guys for that. You guys are the best, honestly. I know, live streams. I know. We'll get there, I promise. There's a lot of stuff on the table that has to be worked. There was a long eBay post. There was a long Facebook post. I don't know why I call it eBay. Long Facebook post that went in depth for everything. I'm not going to reiterate that, but I just want to say thank you guys and have a good night. If you haven't already and you're brand new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and drop a comment and let me know what you think about Netdecking. The reason I ask for the like and subscribe now is because it helps with the algorithm of YouTube. You can Google it. It's stupid. It is what it is. But I'm just being completely 110% honest, as I always promise to. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out for now, and I'll see you soon. Also, we are working on the 10,000 subscribers special. Shh. I know we're not even there yet. We're like 1,400 away, but fingers crossed. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe senpai. Anyway, thank you guys. See you later. Peace.